Main Street Millionaire. This video is based on key insights from the book Main Street Millionaire by Codie Sanchez. Chapter 1, Start Here. Codie Sanchez begins by sharing the story of Wayne Huizenga, a self-made billionaire who built his fortune not by inventing something new, but by strategically acquiring existing businesses. Huizenga's path, starting as a garbage man and eventually owning companies like Waste Management and Blockbuster, demonstrates that massive wealth isn't always about groundbreaking ideas. It's about recognizing value in what already exists and finding ways to own it. Sanchez emphasizes that Huizenga didn't bootstrap his way to success. He learned from observing others and then leveraged creative financing to buy into an established business. This is a key lesson. You don't always need to create something from scratch to become wealthy. The author argues that many people are stuck in a 9-to-5 trap, a system that feels rigged against financial freedom. Sanchez explains that traditional advice, go to college, get a job, work hard, often leads to debt and a constant struggle to make ends meet. She points out that even high-paying jobs can feel limiting, and the pursuit of entrepreneurship through startups is often risky and demanding. The core problem, according to Sanchez, is that most people are taught to trade their time for money, which prevents them from building lasting wealth. She uses the analogy of being a cocker spaniel begging for biscuits to illustrate how employees are constantly reliant on someone else for income. Sanchez introduces the central idea of the book, building wealth by buying profitable, established, Main Street businesses. These are the everyday businesses people often overlook: laundromats, car washes, plumbing services, and so on. She explains that these businesses are often consistently profitable, require less innovation than tech startups, and are frequently undervalued. The author stresses that the key isn't finding a flashy new idea, but identifying a solid, cash-flowing business that can provide financial independence. She shares examples of people she's helped: Renan, Katie, and Chris, who have successfully used this strategy to achieve financial freedom. The author acknowledges that this path isn't easy. It requires hard work, dedication, and a willingness to learn. Sanchez warns against the idea of passive income, emphasizing that owning a business still requires effort and management. She shares a personal story about her own experience buying a laundromat, admitting it was initially scary and overwhelming. However, she highlights that the potential rewards, financial freedom, and control over one's life are worth the challenges. She also points out a looming crisis. Many small business owners are reaching retirement age without a plan to pass on their businesses, creating a unique opportunity for those willing to step up and acquire them. Sanchez explains that a significant number of small businesses are at risk of closing as their owners retire, because their children aren't interested in taking over and there aren't many buyers. This creates a gold mine for those who understand the value of these established businesses. She uses the example of Japan, where thousands of profitable businesses are closing each year due to a lack of succession planning. She shares a story about her uncle's plumbing business, which was successful for decades but ultimately closed when he retired, highlighting the loss of value and opportunity. Finally, Sanchez outlines a 4-step process, summarized by the acronym RICH, for acquiring and growing Main Street businesses. Research involves identifying the right type of business and assessing its potential. Invest focuses on finding creative financing options to minimize upfront costs. Command is about building a team and effectively managing the business. Harness is about scaling and expanding the portfolio. The author concludes by encouraging readers to embrace this alternative path to wealth, emphasizing that it's a way to take control of their financial future and contribute to the preservation of Main Street businesses. Chapter 2, R is for Research. Codie Sanchez begins by addressing a common question she receives: what kind of boring business should someone buy to make money? She quickly points out that this is the wrong question. The real question is, what kind of boring business is right for you? Sanchez emphasizes that buying a business isn't a one-size-fits-all deal. It needs to match your personality, what you're good at, and what you want your life to look like. She warns against jumping into a business that doesn't fit, as it can lead to stress and unhappiness. Sanchez explains that most people focus on big, expensive businesses, leaving a lot of opportunities in smaller, more affordable ones. She categorizes businesses into 4 levels, starting with Level 1, Solo Venture. These are the simplest businesses, like laundromats or vending machines, perfect for someone who wants a side hustle or is a little scared to take the plunge. Level 2, Hands-on CEO, is for those with more experience and cash, where you're essentially buying a job running the business. Level 3, On-deck Operator, involves managing a larger team and scaling the business, while Level 4, Market Leader, is for experienced investors dealing with even bigger companies. She suggests most readers will likely start at Level 1 or 2. The author stresses the importance of self-awareness. Before even looking at businesses, you need to understand your strengths, passions, and network. She suggests a Venn diagram exercise to identify your zone of genius, where your skills, interests, and connections overlap. For example, someone who loves building things is good at logistics, and has a brother-in-law who's a plumber might be a good fit for a plumbing business. She then asks readers to describe their ideal owner experience, what they want to get out of owning a business, and what their financial and lifestyle goals are. Finally, she encourages defining a deal box, specific criteria for the type of business they're looking for, including price range, revenue, and desired profit. Sanchez then dives into finding these businesses, explaining that most aren't advertised online. She introduces the secret seller phenomenon, the idea that over 60% of business owners would consider selling if the right offer came along. She advocates for a walking billboard strategy, simply telling everyone you know that you're looking to buy a business. She outlines 7 ways to find motivated sellers, including asking accountants, attorneys, and business brokers, and even visiting local businesses in person. The author then moves into evaluating potential businesses. She shares a story about a friend, Lisa Song Sutton, who found success buying and improving mailbox businesses. Sanchez emphasizes the importance of due diligence, thoroughly investigating a business before buying it. She introduces 3 tests to help with this process. The first, sows stale, old, weak, simple, looks for businesses that are a bit outdated, have been around for a while, have weak competition, and are easy to understand. The second, BRRT by Resist, Raise, Tech, focuses on businesses with recurring revenue that can withstand economic downturns, can raise prices, and can benefit from technology. The third test ensures there's enough profit to pay an operator and still leave money for the owner. Sanchez warns against common red flags, such as unprofitable businesses, declining sales, unethical sellers, and a lack of transparency. She stresses the importance of getting expert advice from accountants, attorneys, and industry professionals. Ultimately, she encourages readers to be patient, do their homework, and not fall in love with a deal before it's finalized. She concludes by encouraging readers to aim for creative financing, like seller financing, to minimize their upfront investment and maximize their potential returns. Chapter 3, I is for Invest. Codie Sanchez begins by drawing a parallel to fish unaware of the water they swim in, suggesting many people don't fully grasp the availability of money and how it can be used to build wealth. She shares her own upbringing where money was scarce, shaping her initial belief that debt was a negative thing. However, she discovered that wealthy individuals don't simply have money, they know how to make their money work for them. This realization became the foundation for her strategy of acquiring businesses without needing a lot of her own cash. Sanchez introduces the profit payback method, a technique used by private equity firms but applicable to small businesses. Essentially, it involves buying a business by paying the seller over time using the business's future profits. She emphasizes that this isn't the seller paying for the purchase, but the business itself generating the funds. She illustrates this with an example. A friend, Matt, bought a business for $500,000, making a down payment, and then paying the seller a portion of the monthly profit over 10 years, leaving him with a substantial remaining profit. The key reason sellers agree to this is often because the business is hard to sell through traditional means. Sanchez highlights the flexibility of seller financing, contrasting it with rigid bank loans. Terms are negotiable, allowing buyers to tailor the deal to the business's specific situation. She explains that the average deal involves a down payment of 10–50%, with a repayment term of 3–10 years. Sellers might request financial reports or remain on the lease, but the possibilities are vast. She stresses that this method isn't just about getting a good deal. It's about creating a win-win situation where the seller receives a steady income stream and the buyer gains control of a profitable business. The author explains that the core principle behind this strategy is utilizing other people's money, or OPM. Just as large firms use bank loans to grow, individuals can leverage seller financing to acquire businesses without significant personal investment. She provides a detailed example of how to present a deal to a seller, framing it as a choice between receiving a lump sum from a bank loan or a larger, ongoing income stream with interest from the buyer. This approach appeals to sellers seeking financial security and tax advantages. Sanchez delves into the tax benefits of profit paybacks, explaining how spreading payments over time can reduce the seller's tax burden. She also emphasizes the speed of these deals compared to traditional bank loans, which can take months to finalize. She outlines a streamlined process for closing a deal quickly, emphasizing the importance of clear communication and efficient paperwork. She then expands on 5 additional ways to acquire businesses with minimal upfront capital. These include securing SBA loans, acquiring customers through referral fees, purchasing businesses for a small sum with a revenue-sharing agreement, and acquiring businesses to gain access to their employees. Each method offers unique advantages and caters to different situations. For example, acquiring a business for $1, but agreeing to share future profits with the seller is a common tactic when the business is struggling but has potential. Sanchez stresses the importance of having the right legal counsel. She advises buyers to seek experienced attorneys specializing in mergers and acquisitions, rather than relying on generic legal services. She outlines 3 essential documents: a letter of intent, LOI, a purchase agreement, and an operating agreement. She emphasizes the need to control the terms of the deal, rather than focusing solely on price, and to carefully consider clauses related to valuation, non-competes, and guarantees. Finally, Sanchez shares her negotiation strategies, emphasizing the importance of being likable, patient, and prepared to walk away from a deal if the terms aren't favorable. She advocates for understanding the seller's motivations and creating a win-win scenario. She shares anecdotes and advice from successful investors like Warren Buffett and Sam Zell, highlighting the importance of due diligence, clear communication, and a willingness to take calculated risks. Ultimately, she encourages readers to embrace the challenge of business ownership and to pursue opportunities that align with their goals and values. Chapter 4, C is for Command. Codie Sanchez dives deep into the core of building wealth through acquiring and expertly managing businesses, emphasizing that the key isn't being a super entrepreneur, but rather a skilled leader who hires exceptional people. She acknowledges the common anxiety new business owners face, the feeling of being overwhelmed and unsure how to run their newly purchased company. Sanchez's solution isn't to become an expert in everything, but to find and empower a fantastic operator, someone who can run the day-to-day operations better than the owner ever could. She illustrates this with 2 contrasting stories, one of betrayal and financial loss due to a trusted operator's dishonesty, and another of success fueled by a reliable operator who consistently delivered results. These tales highlight the critical importance of careful selection and alignment of incentives. Sanchez stresses that while owning multiple businesses might seem daunting, it's achievable by focusing on finding the right people. She introduces the 6 figures to thee and me rule, advocating for a business to generate enough profit to comfortably pay both the owner and the operator a 6-figure salary. at least $100,000 each. This isn't about greed, but about creating a safety net and attracting top talent. She uses the analogy of a bridge with weight limits, explaining that a business needs enough financial capacity to handle potential challenges without collapsing. A generous compensation package, including performance bonuses and potential equity, is crucial for attracting and retaining a high-performing operator. Sanchez suggests offering bonuses tied to specific goals, like revenue increases or even equity in the company, giving the operator a real stake in the business's success. The author shares her own experience with a laundromat, admitting her lack of technical skills in fixing washing machines. This illustrates that owners don't need to be experts in every aspect of the business. They need to find someone who is. She emphasizes the symbiotic relationship between owner and operator, where the owner provides capital and vision, while the operator executes the daily operations. This partnership allows the owner to focus on finding new deals and growing the portfolio. Sanchez explains that the owner's role shifts from doing the work to funding the work and identifying new opportunities. Sanchez tackles the question of whether an operator is even necessary, acknowledging that some owners start by running the business themselves. However, she argues that it's far more enjoyable and efficient to delegate operations to a capable operator. She reiterates the importance of profit, stating that a business must generate enough income to afford a quality operator while still meeting the owner's financial goals. She provides a concrete example, suggesting a business with $200,000 in annual profits can support a $100,000 salary for both the owner and the operator. The chapter then moves into the practicalities of finding the right operator. Sanchez advises against generic job postings and encourages crafting compelling advertisements that attract top talent. She references a unique job listing by Sean Puri, which openly acknowledged the challenges and rewards of the role, attracting candidates who were genuinely excited about the opportunity. She provides 7 tips for writing effective job descriptions, emphasizing honesty, clarity, and a focus on the exciting aspects of the position. Beyond job postings, Sanchez suggests actively seeking out talent through poaching from competitors, recruiting veterans, utilizing recruiters, networking, and leveraging social media. Sanchez outlines a 3-tiered filtering system for evaluating candidates: known talent, people you already trust; experienced talent, those with a proven track record in the industry; and proven talent, individuals who have consistently delivered results. She emphasizes the importance of checking references and looking for evidence of leadership and a strong work ethic. She provides a hiring matrix to help objectively assess candidates based on these criteria. The author stresses the need for a structured interview process with consistent questions and thorough documentation. She shares a list of key interview questions designed to assess a candidate's skills, experience, and cultural fit. Finally, Sanchez details the onboarding process, emphasizing the importance of a 30, 60, 90-day plan to ensure a smooth transition. She highlights the need for clear communication, regular meetings, and a focus on establishing a strong company culture. She advocates for a weekly compass meeting to reinforce the company's vision and goals, and a Friday finances review to track key performance indicators. She stresses the importance of setting high standards, holding employees accountable, and being willing to make tough decisions, including letting go of underperforming employees. Ultimately, Sanchez's message is clear. Building extraordinary wealth through ordinary businesses requires a strategic approach, a focus on people, and a commitment to continuous improvement. Chapter 5, H is for Harness. Codie Sanchez dives into the world of building serious wealth by buying seemingly boring businesses, using a pressure washing company as a prime example. She argues that many small businesses are undervalued and ripe for massive growth with a few smart tweaks. The core idea isn't about inventing something new, but about improving what already exists. Sanchez emphasizes that it's often easier and more profitable to sell more to existing customers than constantly chasing new ones. Think about it like this. If you already have someone who trusts you to clean their driveway, it's much easier to convince them to also have their house, deck, and gutters cleaned, rather than finding a brand new customer from scratch. The author lays out a practical plan for taking a pressure washing business, earning a decent six-figure income, and turning it into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. The first step is pricing. Sanchez points out that many small businesses leave money on the table by not raising prices regularly. She suggests creating tiered pricing options, good, better, best, to appeal to different customers and increase revenue. Then comes upselling, offering additional services like roof cleaning or window washing to boost the value of each job. Recurring revenue is key, moving from one-time washes to subscription plans for regular maintenance. This creates a predictable income stream and builds customer loyalty. Sanchez stresses the importance of scaling the business by outsourcing work. Instead of the owner doing everything, hiring technicians allows the owner to focus on growing the business. This expansion also means investing in better equipment, like power washing trucks, to improve efficiency and quality. She highlights the power of speed in responding to leads, arguing that quick responses dramatically increase the chances of winning a customer. In today's world, people expect immediate answers, and businesses that can deliver are more likely to succeed. Building a strong online reputation through 5-star reviews is also crucial, as most customers read reviews before making a decision. To really accelerate growth, Sanchez advocates for leveraging the power of online content. She points to the addictive community on Reddit, dedicated to power washing videos as an example. Creating simple before and after videos can attract new customers and boost the business's online presence. This isn't just about showing off clean surfaces, it's about demonstrating value and building trust. The author also emphasizes the importance of not getting distracted by shiny new ideas. Focus on the core business for the first year, resisting the urge to chase every opportunity that comes along. Sanchez introduces the concept of platform acquisitions, which means buying businesses that can be expanded and improved. She illustrates this with the example of a laundromat, showing how adding services like vending machines, delivery, or even buying additional laundromats can significantly increase revenue. The key is to find businesses that complement each other and create a synergistic effect. She also stresses the importance of having strong systems and processes in place, so the business doesn't rely solely on the owner. This makes the business more valuable and easier to sell in the future. Finally, Sanchez discusses the exit strategy, or how to sell the business for a profit. She emphasizes the importance of preparing the business for sale by improving financials, documenting processes, and building a strong team. A well-prepared business will attract more buyers and command a higher price. She also highlights the value of seller financing, where the owner provides a loan to the buyer, which can increase the sale price and provide a steady income stream. Ultimately, Sanchez encourages readers to think long-term and to view building a business as a journey, not just a destination. She believes that with the right mindset and strategies, anyone can build extraordinary wealth by buying and improving ordinary businesses. And that brings us to the end of our summary of this book. I hope you found it insightful and valuable. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe for more. Your support helps us bring you more great content. Thanks for watching.